how to schedule a meeting in Google Meet for Google Form submission automatically. So if you're using Google Forms for collecting the online appointments and for taking those online appointments you are using Google Meet software, then this video is for you, because here I'm going to teach you that whenever the form is submitted into the Google Forms, how you can automatically schedule a meeting into the Google Meet software for the same person who has just submitted the form. Yes, it is possible. You can actually automate your online appointment process with this automation. So if you also want to learn how you can do that, come with me and I will show you the whole process step by step. So assume that I'm a doctor and I provide the consultation online, and for collecting the appointments, online appointments, I have created this form into the Google Form application, and I want, as soon as someone is going to submit this form, a meeting should be scheduled automatically so that I don't need to manually copy the data and then create the meeting manually on each form submission. For that, I'll have to build a connection into Google Meet software and into the Google Form software, and I'm going to do that with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing integration and automation software via which you can connect multiple applications and automate your task. Okay, I will also attach this link into my description box for your reference. Now if you are a new user of Pabbly Connect, you will have to sign up for free, where you will also get free tasks every month to test these kinds of amazing automation. I am already an existing user of Pabbly Connect, so that is why I have clicked on sign in, clicked on access now, and this is how I will reach to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Now the very first thing you will have to do is to click on this blue button, that is create workflow, and simply provide a random name to your workflow, to your automation. So let's say I'm providing the name as, let me correct the spelling, when Google Form is submitted. Okay, when Google Form is submitted, schedule meeting in Google Meet. Okay, now click on create, and after that you will find two boxes in front of you. These are actually trigger and action. So here you'll have to specify the trigger application, and here you'll have to specify the action application. So trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So whenever this happens, do this. Understand with an example also. Whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, let's say send an email via Gmail application. And here according to our use case, whenever the Google Forms application is submitted, whenever the form is submitted in Google Forms application, automatically schedule a meeting in Google Meet software. So this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. And here in this particular automation, we are building the automation in between Google Forms and Google Meet. So that is why the first application here will be the Google Forms, and I want, as soon as someone is going to submit a form, or you can say a new response is received into my Google Forms, this automation should start trigger. So that is why I have selected this particular trigger event. Well, I just have a single trigger event only here. Okay, now after selecting these two things, you will find a webhook URL and few set of instructions. So the idea here is, firstly we will have to connect our Google Forms which we have created with the Pabbly Connect, so that whatever the responses are going to receive, those responses should be collected into the Pabbly Connect, and then we are going to send the same responses to different software so that we can schedule a meeting. Okay, so how I'm going to connect these applications? Basically with the help of webhook URL. Okay, so follow these instructions one by one. So firstly you'll have to copy this webhook URL, go back to the form which you have created for collecting the online appointments, and here we are going to build the connection in between Google Forms and Pabbly Connect with the help of this spreadsheet which is actually associated with this particular Google Form. Okay, let me maximize it so that you can see the data very clearly. Okay, and how I am going to build the connection? So with the help of this webhook URL, copy this URL, go back to your spreadsheet, go to the extension, click on add-ons, click on get add-ons, and here you will have to search for the Pabbly Connect webhooks add-on. And after searching for the Pabbly Connect webhooks, you will find your add-on here. Well, it is already installed into my account, but whenever you are building the connection in between Google Forms or in between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect, the very first thing you will have to do is to install this add-on, because we will have to open the same add-on from here. Okay, so click on extension once again after installing the add-on, and finally you will find your Pabbly Connect webhooks add-on here. Okay, you'll have to open this initial initial setup. Okay, and here I would like to give you a very small tip that whenever you are going to work with the Google Sheets or Google Forms, make sure you work either in the incognito window or multiple Gmail accounts should not be logged in. Otherwise, you will face an error while authorization. Okay, while authorizing your Google Sheets. Okay, so make sure you work either into the incognito window or multiple Google accounts should not be logged in at the same time. Okay, while working into the Google Sheets. Now, after installing this particular add-on, once you will click on this initial setup, here exactly you will have to paste the same webhook URL which you have received via Google Form. So I'm going to paste the same URL here, and it is asking for the trigger column. So read the instructions. The trigger column will be your final data column, in which if the data is added, the whole of that data will be sent to the webhook URL. So what does that mean? So basically, you want that whenever the data is filled up to this particular column, this data should be sent to the Pabbly Connect, or you can say that this automation should start trigger. Well, in this case, I want that when the data is filled up to this G column, because this is my last column into this particular spreadsheet, this automation should trigger. So that is why I am going to add this G only. Now I'll be clicking on send test button, but you will see it will show that no data found in row 2. Okay, so firstly, what I'm going to do is you'll have to read the instructions from here. Okay, it is actually waiting for the webhook response. Read the instructions. Log into the application where you have added the webhook URL and do a test submission record so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So here the test submission and record means making of a new response in this Google Forms. Okay, so I'm going to open this particular form. Basically, I'm going to preview this particular form, and here I'm going to make a dummy submission. I'm going to register. I'm going to take an online appointment as a dummy user by filling out this form. Alright, so I have filled all the details and assume that someone is actually booking an appointment. The name of the person is dummy user. Here's the email address, here's the contact number, and here I'm going to fill the appointment date as, let's say, 7th of January, and here I'm going to fill the time as, let's say, 10 a.m. Okay, so 10:00 is going to be the appointment of mine. Okay, I'm going to click on submit, and you will see after the form submission, of course, the data will be captured first into this spreadsheet. Let me first close it. Here you can see it is the same data. Now when I will click on this extension, and now when I am going to click on the send test button, you will see the same data will be sent to the Pabbly Connect. Okay, let me show you once again. It is still waiting for the webhook response, and as soon as I'm going to click on this send test button, you will see that the same data will be sent to the Pabbly Connect. Here let me show you, and here you can see the response has been received already as soon as I have clicked on this send test button. Let me first click on the submit button, and you will see that the setup will be configured successfully. Click on close. Coming back to the Pabbly Connect, and here let us check the details one by one. And yes, I have actually provided the trigger column as G only. Here we have the timestamp, here we have the spreadsheet name, the sheet name, sheet ID, and let us check the details one by one of the spreadsheet. Okay, so here we have the preferred date as 7th of January. Okay, the first name, last name, email address, contact number, and the consultation time preference. Okay, so this is how the first step of our automation of our integration is done, which was connecting Pabbly Connect and Google Forms and capturing the form data here. Okay, and if I want that on every form submission the data should be collected into the Pabbly Connect, for that I'll have to make one more important settings. Okay, so if you'll go to the extension Pabbly Connect Webhooks add-on, once again you will find an option of send on event. What does that mean? It is asking that whenever any event is going to happen in this particular spreadsheet, should it send the data on the happening of that event? Yes, I want whenever the data is added, basically whenever the new data is added in this particular row, it should send the data. Okay, so I have enabled this particular setting. Let me cross check, and yes, yes, it is now enabled. Okay, so coming back to Pabbly Connect, and now we want to send the same data to Google Meet application because I want to schedule a meeting on this particular date into the Google Meet. Basically, firstly, we are going to schedule this meeting into my Google Calendar, from where I can directly join my meeting into the Google Meet software only. Okay, I'll show you how we are going to do that. So firstly, I am going to search for the Google Meet application because we want to schedule the meetings here. And for scheduling, you will see how the meetings will be scheduled into the Google Calendar software. Okay, and of course the action event will be the schedule a meeting only. Click on connect, and again, as we have connected our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect, now we are going to connect to Google Meet with Pabbly Connect. For that, you will have to click on this add new connection and simply provide the access of your account. I will go with the existing connections only because I already have made the connections earlier with the Pabbly Connect, so I am reusing those connections. Okay, now it is asking to select the calendar and asking for few more details. Okay, so how about I select this Pabbly Connect calendar in which I would like to schedule the meeting into with the Google Meet link. All right, so here it is clearly written that it will only include the calendars that will support the Google Meet meetings. Okay, all right, there's no problem because my Google Calendar actually supports the Google Meet meetings also, and generally all Google Calendars support the same. Now it is asking for the summary, the description, and the meeting start date and time, and the meeting end date and time. So what should be the summary of my meeting? So how about that new appointment is scheduled for the consultation. Okay, so how about I go with this particular summary, and let us copy and paste the same thing here. New appointment is scheduled for the consultation. And what if I also provide the name of the person with whom I am going to conduct the meeting, with whom I am going to take the appointment. Okay, and from where I will actually receive the name of the person, of course from the Google Forms data. Okay, and I don't need to manually copy this data and paste it here. I am going to map it, and mapping is very simple in Pabbly Connect. If you will click on this particular field, the above data visible here, just open that particular data and you will find the above data here in the drop down, and here you just need to select that particular field. So I want to map the name of the person, so I have mapped the first name. Let us map the last name as well. You can even search for the values from the search bar as well. Okay, so dummy user. Okay, new appointment is scheduled for the consultation with the dummy user. Okay, let me add this with dummy user. Okay, so I have provided the summary, the description, and don't worry, these values will be replaced automatically when some new person is going to submit the form. Okay, this name will be replaced automatically. That is why we have mapped this value. Okay, now it is asking for the meeting start date and meeting end date, which is actually required. Well, when I would like to schedule the meeting, when I would like to start the meeting, well, I have already received the data, basically the date and time. So here is the time, and where is the date? I'll have to check. Here is the date. Here's the date and the time. But here you will have to notice one more very important thing, that it has clearly written that enter your event start UTC date time value. Okay, and it has even provided us the example, the format in which the date and time combination should be added. But in this particular case, I have the date and time separately. Okay, firstly I have the date and time separately, and secondly I do not have the date and time into the UTC format. So firstly I'll have to convert these timings, and then I'm going to map those converted timings into the Google Meet software. And how I'm going to do that, don't worry, it is very easy in Pabbly Connect. Click on this plus icon before your Google Meet step, and here I'm going to search for the date and time formatter, which is an amazing feature of Pabbly Connect, via which you can perform various kind of amazing operations inside your date and time, basically with the date and time. Okay, and here I am going to choose this format date with the time zone. Now I'm going to click on this button connect, and you will see it will be immediately connected. Finally it is asking for the date which you need to be formatted. Okay, enter date to be formatted, and here it has also provided the example. Okay, so what date I need to format? Well, if you'll click on this particular field, field, you will find the date and time of the Google form submission. Okay, basically the person who has provided the data. So here I have mapped the date, and where is the time, I'll have to check that as well. So I have the timing as the 10 a.m. okay, and here it is asking for the from format. So currently I have the date in month, date, year, hours, minutes and seconds. So I will go with the same from format. Okay, so where is the month, date and year? Okay, so here I have the month, date, year, hours, minutes and second, and in this particular format I also have this am and pm. But the problem is the am and pm here we have is actually with the ddmmyy format. So that is why I'll have to go with this mmddyhhmms. Okay, so this is going to be the from format. Asking for the to format, well, we have the to format in this particular format. Okay, so here you can see the tz value and into the utc format. So I'll go upside, and here I'm going to select the same format. Okay, so the to format should be the TNZ format. And where is that format? Well, it is actually the first format only, that is the TNZ format. Okay, I think I should go with this TNZ because I want the Z into the end, in the end. Okay, asking for the time zone. So the from time zone will be the Asia and Kolkata, of course, because I am from the India, and the time zone I have captured is actually for the Asia and Kolkata only. And to's time zone, well, as they have clearly mentioned that it should be the UTC. Well, why UTC, I will explain you later in the video, but here you will have to go with the UTC only. And if I will search for the UTC, here we have the UTC format. Okay, if I'll be clicking on this button save and send test request, you will see what data we have actually received. So we have received, I'll have to check the values. Something is wrong because here one separation is missing, and even the date is also different because I have booked an appointment for the 7th of January, but it is showing clearly a different value. So I'll have to check my settings once again. Okay, so the very first thing is that I have not provided a space as per this format. Okay, here you can see mmddyy. After that I'll have to provide the space, so I'll have to provide the space here. Alright, so I have provided the space here, and let us cross check the format as well once before I click on this button save and send test request. So I have the date here as the DDMMYYYY, hours, minutes, seconds, and then AM and PM. Let me cross check, and in this particular from format I have selected the MM. Okay, instead of DDMMYYYY I have selected this format MMDDYYYY, which I'll have to correct once again. So let me search for the DDMMYY format. So here I have the DDMMYY format where we have the hours, minutes, seconds, and of course the AM and PM value, which I guess is the exact format which I have mapped here. So how about I go with this one, and let me check whether I'm receiving the exact date and time format or not, which Google Meet is actually looking for. Alright, so I have 2023 0107 and 4:30. Well, you must be thinking that the timing we have received is actually of the 4:30, but the actual time was actually for the 10 a.m. So why there is a difference of 5:30 hours? Because here I have received this particular data into the UTC format, and if you are going to add plus 5:30 hours in this existing timing basically into the 4:30, you will actually get the 10 a.m. timing only. Okay, and here why again we have received this data into this particular format, because in Google Meet it has clearly mentioned that you should actually format the date and time, you should actually provide the date and time into the UTC format. So that is why we have received the timing into the UTC format, which I am going to map as my start date. Okay, so the first value we are actually set for the first value, which is the start date and time. Now from where I will get the end date value? Okay, so assume that as a doctor I'm going to take an appointment, I'm going to take a meeting for at least 1 hour. Okay, so I'll have to add 1 extra hour in this particular timing, and then I'm am going to map that particular date and time in this end date field. Okay, so how I am going to do that? You will have to click on this plus icon once again, and here we are going to perform the same thing with the help of date and time formatter feature only. Okay, and again let me tell you, it is the amazing feature of Pabbly Connect via which you can perform several things. Okay, and this time instead of selecting this format date with time zone, I will select that this add and subtract the time. I'm sorry for that. Click on connect, and this is how it will be connected. Simply provide the date which you would like to format. So I have just received a date from the previous step in which I would like to add one more hour. Okay, so here the format is already given for adding and subtracting the date and time. So I am going to paste the same format here, and here I will change the value as the 1 and will remove this extra s. Okay, and it is asking for the to and from format, so I'll have to search for the t and z format. Where is that format? All right, here you can see I have the format as the t and z. Okay, let me cross check whether I'm adding the correct format or not. Okay, so it is asking for the t and z format where the z should be in the last. Okay, so I'll have to recheck once again, and here we have the t and z format, but I'm confused that which particular format among these should be captured. Okay, so basically I should add this t and z format. Okay, so I think I have added the correct one. All right, again I'm going to select the same, clicking on this button save and send test request. I hope I will get the exact value, and yes, I have actually received the value of after 1 hour, which I'm going to map here. So let us click on this particular field. Well, here I have the start date which I have mapped, and here I'm going to map the end date. Okay, let me map it once again. Alright, so after mapping the start and end date, it is asking for the attendee email, basically with which person you are going to attend the meeting. So I'm going to map the email address of the same person which I have received from my Google Forms response. Okay, and finally it is asking for the request ID. Enter the random unique ID for this request. I think nothing could be better than the email address, because this is something going to be unique also. So how about I map the same, and finally I am going to click on this button. But before that, let me first open my Google Calendar so that I can clearly show you that how the meetings are going to conduct automatically into this Google Calendar. Okay, the meetings are actually going to schedule into the Google Calendar, and from here exactly you can join the meeting at any time, basically at the preferred date and time. So I think I am about to add the meeting in which particular column, in which particular calendar. Okay, so Papcon is the calendar, so let me unselect other calendars, and here I have selected this Papcon. Coming back to Pabbly Connect and clicking on the button finally, and waiting for the response, waiting for the meeting to be scheduled. Well, the response is already received, and here I am actually waiting for the meeting to be scheduled. And here you can see the meeting has been scheduled automatically. If I will open this particular meeting, it is the same description that new appointment is scheduled for the consultation, and here we have the description as new appointment is scheduled for the consultation with, and here we have the name of the person, the email address of the person, and even the date and timings are exact, that is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and January 7th, which we have basically these details we have provided at the time of form submission. Okay, and let me even show you that currently we have the date and time as the 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. but remember the value which we have to map was quite different. It was actually the 4:30 and 5:30. Okay, so that is why it has asked us to provide the values into the UTC format, so that when the meetings are going to schedule in this particular calendar, it will take the exact value which we are adding at the time of Google form submission. Okay, so this is how now onwards, as soon as someone is going to schedule or someone is going to book an appointment via this Google form submission, the meetings will be automatically scheduled into the Google Calendar. And from this particular button, if people are going to click on this button, basically if you are going to click on this button, the meeting will be open up automatically, and from here exactly you can join the meeting. Now this was for you, basically this is the meeting link for you, but how the customer will get to know that from where and how he is going to join the meeting? For that I'm going to share these meeting details. Basically I have received the meeting details here and even the meeting link in this particular response. Let me show you. Here I have the meeting link. Okay, so I'm going to share the same details with the same person over his Gmail. For that I'll have to click on this plus icon and here I'm going to search for the Gmail application because I want to send the data to the Gmail only, basically on the Gmail of the person. Okay, and as the action event I have selected the send email, clicking on connect, and again I will go with the existing connection only. But if you are building the connections for the first time, you will have to choose the new connections and just provide the access of your Gmail account, asking for the recipient mobile number. I'm sorry for that, it is not the mobile number, it is the email address. Okay, so here I'm going to map the recipient email address, which is admin@pabblytudes.com, leaving the CC and BCC field blank, sender name. So how about I add something like the Pabbly, just a random sender number, asking for the email subject line. So how about I provide the data, provide the line, the subject line, something like appointment is confirmed. Okay, this is going to be the subject line for my email, which I'm about to send to my customer, to the person who is about to schedule the meeting. Okay, reply to, I will again leave this particular field blank. Email content type, well, you will have to go, you can actually choose this plain email content type only. Finally the email content, so I'm writing something like hello. Here I will place the name of the person, that is dummy, give a space and again search for the name, and here I will map the second name as user, press a comma, press enter. Hello dummy user, your online appointment with doctor has been scheduled on, and here I'm going to write the meeting details, and instead of adding the details which we have received from this date and time formatter step, how about I map the value from the Google form step? Why? Because these values, these date and time values are quite tough to read. Okay, so I'm going to map the details from here only. So here I have the date as this, and I'm also going to map the time. So let me search for the time, and here we have the time. Okay, so your online appointment with doctor has been scheduled on 7th of January 2023, and this is the timing, and you can join the meeting from this particular link. Okay, so here I'm going to add the meeting link so that on this particular date and time the person can actually join his meeting. And here I will open this fourth step, and here I'm going to search for the meeting link. Alright, I'll have to search for it once again, and here we have the meeting link which I have mapped. And let me also write something like the regards Pabbly team, and finally I am going to send this particular email to the same person. You just need to click on that particular button and you will see that how the same message will get sent automatically to the person. So let me first open my Gmail account in which I am about to receive this particular email. Alright, so I have opened my Gmail account, coming back to Pabbly Connect, clicking on this button save and send test request and waiting for the response to receive. Alright, well, the response has already received. You can even check that the response result status is sent. Coming back to my Gmail account, let me refresh once again, and here you will see that the email has been arrived. Alright, here you can see the same email has been received and it is the same subject line, that is appointment is confirmed. And if I will open this particular email, you will see it is the same content which we have prepared via Pabbly Connect. Okay, hello dummy user, your online appointment with doctor has been scheduled on this particular date and time, and you can join the meeting link from this particular link, regards Pabbly team. So this is how now onwards, as soon as someone is going to schedule an appointment via this particular form, the meeting for the same will be scheduled automatically on this particular particular calendar from where you can join the meeting, and customers, your form submitters, can join the meeting from their email. And for that, you just need to set this automation inside Pabbly Connect once, and after that, everything will work in the backend. Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. Sit back and relax. And I am also going to attach the shareable link of my workflow into the description box. So just in case if you want to access this whole workflow into your account, simply go to this particular link, sign up for free in the Pabbly Connect, and the same workflow will be cloned into your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free. Not just these applications, you can integrate multiple applications and automate your business with Pabbly Connect. You can ask your queries at forum.pabbly.com. My team will surely answer to your questions. This is the website of Pabbly Connect, and for the latest updates of Pabbly Connect and unique automation ideas, you can join our Facebook group, that is formget.deals. If you have found this video helpful in any way, share it with your friends and colleagues and also help them to automate their business. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.